The next person comes. It's an outside process. That's why I use production. So that it's a recovery. Yeah. It's yeah, right. Oh, that's a okay. Yes, that's what. So,
Good afternoon. Today we are going to hold a very simple Chancellor lecture series, and I welcome Dr. Permission class of the character listener to introduce and welcome you all. Good afternoon to everyone. This is the 22nd lecture under the Chancellor's Research Series of Ascendant University. And this particular lecture we have as one of the renowned geneticists or biologists, whatever it's saying. Our global is here is Professor Bhanu Pratap Choudhury. I know him because we are like and so basically a veterinarian from Rajasthan on the like genetics, genomics, and all other processes of that. So I just go with the same view
University and to listen to a talk. I think the topic of this lecture is very pertinent system. But this will definitely help us, all the faculty members, all of our management of research, as well as and that is what delighted to see him here. And he is there in the Texas A&M University of Texas. Many of our students from the institution we have gone and our PDFs and so on. We have this lesson not particular topic of science as such, and maybe so the topic is research as the basis of the university progression and high quality students. That's the leader. So in this lecture, directly we try to have viewpoint I would like to request take over and proceedings on this.
Thank you, sir. I would like to give a brief introduction of Professor Bhanu Choudhury. His topic is research as the basis for university progression and high quality student learning. Professor Bhanu Choudhury, Professor Emeritus and former Dean, College of Veterinary Medicine, Texas A&M University, USA. He had his BBSc and PhD and MPSc degrees from the College of Veterinary Sciences, Bikaner, Rajasthan, and PhD from Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, Uppsala, Sweden. He has vast experience in academics and research and worked as a professor at Uppsala University, Sweden, and Dean College of Veterinary Medicine, Texas A&M University. He was also the Vice President at UAB University, Qatar. He has published more than 300 scientific publications like Science, Nature, NS, Genome Research, Mammalian Genome Genomics, Genetics, etc. With more than 12,000 international citations. Professor Choudhury is also a pioneer scientist in genome mapping of the animal through-fish and through-fish. He is based in USA and chairman and member of several international funds. Now I'd like to call upon our Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. for felicitating Dr. Choudhury and Mrs. Choudhury with Gamasha. We call upon Dr. Dharmeshwar Das for giving a memento to Dr. Choudhury. So the audience is yours now.
Thank you very much. I would like to begin with sincere thanks to Vice Chancellor Pratap and also Director Das for a very kind invitation to this institution. I'm really thrilled to come down over here And when I heard the name Downtown University, I was thinking that this will be the middle of Guwahati somewhere. But I took a very swift tour here, and I'm so impressed that it is close to nature, very close to nature. Setting is beautiful. The backdrop is mountains. There is wildlife, and I see so much energy in the campus. And I should actually congratulate the students who bring so much energy to this place. Of course, the faculty members do their part in energizing the students to do things can only imagine. So, my sincere thanks are given to all of you for this opportunity. I telling my wife that I'm here on my dad was posted in Shillong. He was in the army. As a kid, I visited Guwahati and took the train over here from Rajasthan to go by bus to Shillong. So I know the place. I say I know. My journey has been quite nomadic. This is how best I introduce myself. Although by heart I'm a veterinarian, but essentially I'm a teacher. Fundamentally a teacher by heart. That motivates me, that drives me, that energizes me, and that encourages me every day. In addition to that, the thing that is very close to my heart also is research. From student time, I've been a very curious person. And university is you are a student. And that university took place to different places as a nomadic person, beginning with Budapest, Hungary, where I spent a couple of years, moving over to Sweden, doing something very different compared to what I started with. Moving from there to Denmark, where I worked for quite some time, then to Texas, sometime in Australia, and then 3 years in Qatar, Doha, at another university, 6 years at UAE University of Dubai. Then I thought that 42 years of journey is more than enough, and maybe it's time to do something very different and come down and connected to people whom I left almost 38, 39 years ago after working for 6 years. I must say that you start with a profession, get a degree, but then to stay in that domain throughout the profession. That's what life is about. You don't stick to it, but you find that how that serves as your foundation to go into something very good. Although I'm an animal geneticist and an animal breeder, but I always try to find out what different I can do to add to that profile of growth. And like Vice Chancellor Das, I have been also in the administration for the past 4 years. And the reason for being in administration is not to have a position, the data, to be able to help others grow. So that has been part of our journey. Today's talk focuses on the significance of research in universities and stress. Research is a institution around the world. And having traveled around 60 to 65 countries during our journey, I realized that this is the backbone of comfort maybe any part of the world, country, college, any university. If there is research, then art is because it excites. It takes you away from bookish knowledge, something that is more practical, it's more real, and it challenges you go beyond the borders of the books. Because that's where you are going to learn something novel, something impractical that can benefit humanity as well as the environment and the surroundings. That's all what it is about research. So let's begin with this. The past 10 to 20 years has seen a huge boom in the number of universities that have developed. I could say that the green revolution, this is an educational revolution that is happening in 10 to 12 years. Universities have come up on the landscape. It's a huge number. Certainly, so many universities are there. On the positive side, it's great. The culture people, many students to come and education. And at the same time, it's fulfilling the need of the nation because we need skilled youth. And these universities have come with quality, but serving as filling gap for education versus the future skill of the worlds that we do. So they are doing a great job. On the flip side, so many universities have come up. The students are really confused. What to choose, where to go, why to go, and where to spend the money. It's fine. Kids are also wondering where to send my kids. It's where the significance of the education is very, very important. That these mushrooming universities, these newly developed universities, stick in research or not. While traveling within India the past 6 months, I saw even in villages, suppose saying so and so university. And it's a very small building over there. It's a university. Or a DOT university. How to compare that? University, it's fragile. Because of this mushrooming, still a question mark in the hearts of many, many students as well as parents. Also, the last 15 to 20 years, the ranking system has so everybody is looking at its ranks so the national landscape or the global landscape. So perhaps that's the best university. And that is really a big question mark in my mind. As much as an administrator, had to work towards making sure that my university ranked high. But I know the inside story too. Honestly, I know the inside story that how these ranking comes personal, how the outside academia and not with the problem of this rat race. I call it a rat race. That we want to become the top 50 or top 30 or whatever it is. Yes, must say, top 20 universities in India are really, yes, really, really good. No question mark. No question mark. But after that, it's an open. It's an open game. And a lot of effort goes into it. So I actually am not in that race. It's important because when you go to government or when you go to the industry or when you go to philanthropy, there's something to convince them that who we are and why are we coming to you. And we have to go and say, sir, we are the top 100 universities in India, and that's the reason we invite us. Skill. In my personal opinion, it's not the ranking that is important, but instead, it's the standing of my university that has got huge value. The standing of university does not come overnight. It's a process, culture that is established within an institution. There are people that are in soul education, and the students, they learn that best. They go out, they shine, because the skills deeper better. And it's not just they got the knowledge or the definitions of certain things, but they do understand the application of the principles they studied in different books, or in different classes, or in different practicals that they have. That's the next step. Oxford University, Harvard University, Princeton University, Caltech, these universities have not become extraordinary overnight either. So it's a process, it's an evolution that will happen. But with each of the universities that have evolved into something spectacular today, the backbone of teaching is research. It's research. Without research, without hands-on applications, without knowledge, it's difficult to talk about just the books and exams and the degree. That's never enough. In today's environment, if you go out, students, and have an interview for any of the company, any of the jobs, the you open your mouth, you say your first sentence, the person who's recruiting you knows where you stand. It's where you stand. So even though we want to try our best, and people who are recruiters know that if somebody is coming from this institution, I'm sort of going to be good. I'll give you an example. That when I was living in UAE, at the Emeritus, I always students coming from American University of Jarkand. I don't understand. I knew it. This was after experiencing 5 or 6 students from that place, were working in some government offices. Interaction with them were, oh, I'm from the US. One person, second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person. AUS is the place, uses, and reason for it. They don't let the students go out because they know A, B, and C properly. Those are simple fundamentals which some of the institutions work. And to that, they can research and so when research is here, you get answers which for the real life, just for the bookish knowledge. Anyway, when it comes to universities, you get another university for you to stand out. It's very important. And it's the duty of the faculty members and the administrators to make sure that the step when you are doing something unique, when you are doing something innovative, when you are teaching the students something for society. That's all what it matters. These are simple things. Even simple things, teaching how asking the students to get up and talk. Really simple, critical thinking, and simple soft skills, those are important. So, as much as the books and the books and the knowledge there is important, I should say 30 to 40% important. Other skills around jobs, very, very important. And this is one of the difference was between the US and other universities in India. So something I always mention, this was not my university, but I came and a place I was going to say that that's a good place. So it's very important to distinctive vision for your institution. So distinguish yourself for the crowd by having some skills to your students. Some skills faculty members are able to give the students and make sure that each one of you does that. I was just going to the web and came out this these two pictures. It's really attractive my attention. Although I must say I will take this data with a pinch of salt because today there are 50 different agencies that are doing this data analysis and are coming up with their own version of the ranking. The institutions on the left side. See 200 from universities and institutions. And the and has a potential for improvement and efforts can make a difference in those directions. And being a researcher, I felt research is one of the ways our things can change course to becoming a force in our to be proud that you are the best institution, primary institution in the region. That happiness is on one side, but the challenge and demand is on the other side because we cannot keep on comparing ourselves only with people around us. We have to start comparing ourselves with the rest of the nation. It's very important that we start having your bar and you start progressing. Because when you push your boundaries, the difference to make a dent, it's not enough. It's when you start progressing. So, in my opinion, there are four types of universities. One is that simply grants degrees. And when talking with Vice Chancellor about it, I was just telling him, who's a university that grants degrees versus an institution that is a college or a community college. Then there is an institution where which is research oriented, where an issue to getting you have a research while discipline. And then strategy is research emphasis, and we are expected. It's a requirement. Everybody has to do research, or at least a subset of the academic university research to change the profile of the institution. And the doctoral universities that are research extensively. I think so it's an opportunity for the mushrooming universities in the country to transition space. Now it's up to them to realize that they stand today and then what is done so that they really want who they really aspire to become. So Bachelor of Science degrees carry age to get a job. They're not enough. Education is needed. And that's where you need to understand where to go from here on. Now, what makes university stand out? I showed you a couple of pictures where I say that how to do that. Firstly, the quality of the programs matter a lot. It's quite popular. Among the top, even at Oxford or Cambridge, not all programs are the best in the world, but some programs are among the top. So it's the quality of the programs that matter a lot. And an institution that is advanced enough to should make sure that our programs are the best. Students that are coming out of it have better than other institutions that are offering the same thing. So that distinction has to be there. Needless to say, the quality of teachers or professors who are delivering those programs so has to be higher. And I'm not undermining by saying that a research-oriented teacher is the best teacher, but must change the way the delivery of lectures are given. Because imagine a teacher that has learned the grades, 10 books, knows everything inside out about a certain subject. Knows about the horizon of research. Doesn't add up. So the quality of teachers becomes very, very important, and being research oriented is extremely important. Talk about research, of course, that's not about infrastructure resources that are necessary for that. They should be at least involved in that the machine is oiled and it's run. Some research is going on, and that makes a big difference. And the overall learning ecosystem. How can we think such that makes a big difference. But as I said, while talking about these things, research is the basis, and it is a very important measure. And you put any type of ranking, whether I like it or not, it's not a matter. But you must even stand out, start doing research. People get tracked, whether they are students, whether they are faculty members, whether it is industry, whether it is any organization, university gets value just because it starts itself or is conducted. And when we talk about research, there's always a confusion that should be invested in sciences or should be invested in sciences. Should we at all do research in humanities and social sciences? Remember, when I was at Chancellor University, there was no agriculture, there was no veterinary medicine. Law, business, education, science, humanities, and Sharia and Islamic studies. So the colleges, human medicine, very interested in promoting those colleges. And sciences is the basis of our existence. Strongly believe that it is. So now, explain, but research has to be done at an institutional level. The institution embraces, the university embraces that we will be engaged in research. It has to be done at the graduate level, and that's where the programs become very, very important. And has also been to be done at the undergraduate level. These are small projects to which the students are exposed, but at the end of their graduation, they are associated with it. They do some research and prepare a summary thesis about it. Or even if you have 3 to 4 years of information, they are research. Why? Because the research they are forced to think outside the box. They are forced to think outside what is in the curriculum. They are forced to think outside what is important for exams. That's what it is about. When you go on to take up a job, especially the students, keep in mind that only 10% of what you learn books will be of direct value when you have that first measure. Everything else will be doing after that will be different to what you have been created. That's called transition. And when you are doing the research, that's when you start about things that have become very important about academic issues. So as much as you should be thankful to your teachers about what you are being taught, always learn things beyond. So the transition of an institution from whatever they do for research emphasis or the research oriented or the research institution, research across the basics. How do we emulate it? How do we get started? How do we make it a part of the institution? Certainly, there needs to go a lot of planning. How should we do it? And strategic planning is something that I have doing the last 40 or 50 years on a regular basis, on an annual basis, preparing strategic plans for different colleges to do research, as well as for the entire university. How should go into it and how should invest in it. So it helps get innovation. So where do we stand? From the country or rest of the region or rest of the world. And those are the things that have to be kept in mind. The beginning, of course, is to the whole industries who sit down for the next years. That this is how research will become a part of this institution. That's how the thing is. And they come down and share this information and the faculty members and with students. Because one thing who wanted this transition, which I personally experienced during my stay on the States, that as I will from the faculty members be able to implement the soldiers on the ground. And it is very important to test their acceptance, to motivate them, inspire them for this transition. And this transition is first all out. So there has to be a talk, there has to be a language, there has to be a connection. That is current state. Whichever college is there, and I think the list of colleges for medicine is not medical sciences or applied health sciences are very different from some down. So we put those colleges over here. Has to be that transition same time. So something that has to be put to be known for certain disciplines. That we will invest, and I'm just taking an example, that we will invest in paramedical sciences right now. Quite a lot. Because this is so those prioritizations should happen in individual colleges. Once that prioritization is, then the list is presented, and the needs are identified for each of those prioritizations. So topics have been identified those lists that are important to the college, to the institution, and value to the future growth of the institution, as well as how it serves the community going forward. So regional dynamics become very, very important in such ways. Regional needs become very, very important. At the same time, needs nationwide and globally for humanity are also very, very important. So those things have to be done very carefully. In addition, I'm a very strong proponent that disciplines do not have to be isolated. Gone are those days when one discipline grows vertically all by itself. Today, medicine and engineering, they go together. Engineering and agriculture and humanities go together. And you will ask, what is engineering with humanities? Social science is very important. It's an integral part of it. So interdisciplinary, especially research is brought into an institution more and more and more. The central part of the mission is interdisciplinary. It's extremely important. Now, when it comes to ecosystem development for research, now, if research will be standard in all areas, naturally some kind of infrastructure and resources and lands are needed. No institution will be able to invest at the same time. It's impossible. And that's why I talk about this. So priorities have been set up. 4 or 5 areas have been identified. Those areas where investment needs to be put into begin with. And one of the things that I'm a very strong proponent of is that of excellence established in those areas. For example, I came to know that forensic sciences is one of the areas in which you have already started or proposing to start and already started. Now, this is a very unique strength of this institution. I should say that. not the institutions in India have forensic sciences, or if they have facilities to be able to lead in those directions. So, students made in that area, for example, just giving it as an example, since established experts in those areas or students who will be going in those areas to attracting government attention also for a lot of futures forensic work. So establishing the pattern that does not say, but millions of rupees to be established and there's a certain infrastructure that can be done. But those are the services that are really going forward. So if 4 or 5 focal labs are established, and that would that can be used, that would be very good. So infrastructure and resources are established accordingly. Of course, and upgraded faculty who can take care of that research is equally important. Now, I faced a lot of challenge when I was doing this transition over there. And there's a sense of insecurity suddenly among the faculty members that this transition means we will lose our jobs. This is not how it works. There are some faculty members who are desperate to take up the load of teaching. And there are some faculty members who are needed to do research as well as teaching, and then there are some faculty members who are needed to do research intensively. So that gradation helps a lot. An additional need is needed. This transition needs to happen. And to say that inspired students of improved caliber is very, very important. We always face challenge in various institutions around the world that students come in and they have a certain level of understanding. But I've always believed that any student can inspire very significant amount of effort. And they can rise to the occasion and do things that are extraordinary. So I believe that students can be inspired by students. Funds are vital. They are very vital of a research institution. It's not just funds from within the institution that should the research, but it is the extramural funds that are extremely important. And I was so happy to hear from the Chancellor that the institution has got grants from government of India, the DBT, and other national agencies. It's an outstanding effort. And kudos to you, especially the faculty members and the administrators who have produced others to do. It's really noteworthy. Praises to the effort that has been put in. That's an outstanding thing. That's a movement in the right direction. But these funds, once they start coming in, serve as encouragement for other faculties to participate and apply these funds. And then, of course, the think tank, I'm sure, there's a group of faculty members who encourage each other to go in the direction. And also the administrators over here, I think it's a very conducive environment. And the think tank makes legitimacy for the transition where few people are already experiencing predictable funding that will receive. Research is innovative. Just in-house. Everything is not about, and that's where collaboration becomes very important. I've done projects throughout my life. Some dollars in funding that I received in different countries around the world, whether it was European Union, whether it was Danish Council for Research, whether it was the Swedish Council for Research, whether it was NIH, United States, whether it was USDA. Singularly, I could do only this much. But with collaborators, this much. That's where collaboration is very, very important. When I talk about collaboration, it's not just academic institutions, because then it's a narrow window of collaboration has to be discussed. This has to be involved, they have to be attractive. Because at the end of the day, we want who are eventually going to use whatever we will do. So it is the industry, society that use it, they part of it. So institutes and organizations, if not together for collaboration, that serves as an engine for growth research in an institution. Coming towards the end then, the most important part of institution towards research is a strong brand. I cannot emphasize enough how significant role it plays the next level and the next level. Around first we said of tier 1 universities, masters and programs, and postdocs. And I'm sure the quality under master's program perhaps have started or about to start have started PhD scholars. So this is a fabulous thing, but this is still in the right direction because starts when there are PhD students, when there are master's students, are they motivated to come up with something novel and impactful and also publications, but there's a lack of institution that is found. So graduate programs are critical. Whenever the research infrastructure is established, students were having their first activity. Finally, exposing labs, watching what's going on in this lab, what this type of work is going on. Walk into this and talk to the professor, see what is going on. Then suddenly, can I volunteer in your lab and or can I do this project? So that is get exposed sooner or later in a growing university research. Whatever they are doing, but the institution benefits students. The students will be those who will come to do a master's and PhD. A good quality master's to get jobs outside will become ambassadors of this place. But the quality of research that happens over here is simply outstanding. I learned so much because of that. So, are extremely and the research is also equally important because that says for an institution to become even more stronger. So, research center of excellence programs work towards transitioning university into a research business or a research intensive university. And this is some of the profile of an institution. When I started at university, the biggest challenge that I faced was the amount of funding which the institution was getting. And I was telling Vice Chancellor that to discuss it with students, and by the time I left, the minister will be finding 16 100 times more than that time. 100 times more. And I was able to do it for an institution that was only the level institution. Today, that institution is a research purpose institution. That's the transition that matters. If it can happen in 6 years over there, I'm sure it can happen in 2 years also. It's just combined. It's not just the administrators, it's not just the faculty members, it's also the participation of students and their hunger and their desire that I will get a better job if I inform with research. So research takes students to a different level of learning, and it helps the faculty members to keep on for reaching out. So with these words, I finish and put a word for your kind patience. I will capitalize on the person and I will love from the students. I don't want you to be quiet listeners. Thank you so much for the time.
I only discussed it a lot. Students, teachers.
Visualize that how a university grew. I'm for the wonderful presentation that have visualized us that how university grew, how this tradition, how this small culture important to keep the culture. So, sir, I have a small one. As you all of you know that we are reaching culture, that we are reaching culture and our universities are reaching that era. So how important, how much relevant that ancient practices of our traditional practices started ancient practices or the traditional practices is relevant real good or the current use. This is the first question. And the second one is that, sir, is it possible to do the good research with limited resources?
So I think additional knowledge is
Yes,
It's coming to this one. I heard it's frozen. Sorry, what was it?
so traditional knowledge, like for traditional knowledge, how to knowledge level through authentication that can be done.
Traditional knowledge is important because it still serves as the basis, it still serves as the foundation. But always keep in mind, it's not comprehensive, it's not political. There's always scope of what is. Now, if I give you one Rasulullah, people say, I love it. Zaid had a word. So there has to be a hunger, there has to be a still the traditional knowledge. What is on account? If you have not built, if you have not grown, huge. Your thought process has not. This is not being kicked in. And that should be kicked in because of start thinking that prior to traditional knowledge and its application in the field or wherever it is so and so. How can I make a difference out of that? Example of Elon Musk. You know Elon Musk?
Yes.
Everybody knows first. People started thinking him crazy when he started talking about the cars, electric cars. Started thinking that he's crazy when he started talking about driverless cars. So, seems to have good. There's a lot of electronics in it. There's a lot of mechanics improvement in it. So we should be happy. But we ought not see beyond the horizon. And he said, I will do it. So people not doing it, but I will do it. That's what it is about. He had additional knowledge, but he our Tesla. He didn't stop the SpaceX program. SpaceX program is a variety of that. It's a chance. Take a look at a program on Netflix that talks about Elon Musk. How is beyond what he knew from his knowledge. So that's, I hope it answers the first part.
Sir, is it possible to do good research with related research?
In the same document, certainly, the same documentary, he decided was, how can I create problems that cost sometimes less in 10 years. It took 10 years to be able to do it. But people always sit back and say that, you know what, I don't, therefore I don't research. I shared my own experience. When I finished my degree, started teaching as an assistant professor. And my boss called me and said that you're going to start working on chromosomes and things. Talking about and cell cultures need depth by which the cells can get triggered so that they grow. So, now that is what open. The trigger is needed, the chemical is needed to make them grow. Not go from where to get it. Somehow I found that stigma. Found that in Delhi there's a supply. This is talking about 1980, okay? And then there's a supplier who can get it. I reached out to him. In 1 month, I came to know that it costs this much. My professor said, forget it. I will not give you this money. Now, I don't want to stop doing that. Sir, I asked for money. I found out it costs this much. You said, there's no money. That's the story. Started looking into the literature. Came from the kidney beans, not one. Okay? The kidney beans are the source of this protein, right? And some descriptions. Literature. There was no internet at that, right? There was no internet. So from that, there was no Mr. Google over there like that. So from library, I built the library, found out this is how whole group nitrogen is prepared. Just the next 4 days, so I washed like crazy, and I grew them, filtered them, the extract, and put over the nitrogen in the substrate. So you can always say that this cannot be done. You have 1,000 reasons for to do it, but you should have 10,000 reasons. It's always possible. So that's an extreme example. But in a realistic world, you might aspire this way, you might not achieve it because of funding constraints. Try to make that project small, which is feasible. In today's environment, it is possible to fund those smaller projects. And once you get preliminary data for a certain project, it's always possible to get more funding after that. Okay? And
So since we are talking about the research, for the research problems, regarding problems where the research are working on different problems that they is public research paper and present usable. How we are research for the society, particular area. How the research paper when is repeated to a particular community of the research community, teaching community or the student problem. It's aligned the research outcome with the actual society where we have done that research and we have done the research for their data. So here, I want to ask you one that can you suggest me what to means reduce the gap in the where we have done the research and how the research outcome particular community.
okay. So that's starting. You have to make this transparent and just simply a bit. And this is how things will be done. I think so we've got two strong words over here who have been in your review committees who will be able to also guide you that whenever such is prepared, the dissemination plan is always in place. But this is how the publication will be prepared. This is how the society will benefit. This is how the students benefit or whichever community that is contributing to the result. So when things are clear, usually chances of fusion is not there of good because it's all planned right from the beginning, from day one. Secondly, emphasizing collaboration on the person. Due credit is given to all